what is the correct way to pronounce your stage name?
Xavier Omar. No one's ever asked me that. Thank you. Please. Now, technically, quite technically, because of the umlaut, it's Omer, is the way it's supposed to be said. That's not what I'm going for. Obviously, the majority of my fan base at the moment is in the US. So I just did that as like a difference maker. It's my real middle name, but I added the umlaut as just a standout difference thing, merchandising, all those things. So Xavier Omar is how I was hoping people would say it, but of course it's just Xavier Omar. It's like I wanted the O to be more like O'Shaughnessy, O'Neal, Omar. That's what I was hoping for, but it didn't work out that way. So, but yes, Xavier Omar.
Now, aside from people mispronouncing it, do people misspell it as well?
No, I mean a lot of people will forget to use the umlaut or put it over the O at times, but because it's easy to spell. So for the most part, I've never seen Xavier misspelled except on my Starbucks order this morning when they put Azavior, and I spelled it for the man. So I don't know how we got there. Very upset about that. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't happen that way. So yeah, just they misplaced the umlaut or forget it entirely.
And care to share where this Starbucks was located at? What part of the world?
It was in Dallas this morning, flying into here. I got what time was my flight? Like 7 a.m. or something. And so I think I was in my terminal around 6 and just trying to get something, get some coffee to get going. And yeah, I looked dude dead in the eyes. I said my name, Xavier, Xavier. And he's just typing away. Oh, cool name. And then I hear when they call the order out, Xavier. And I was like, who is that? What even is that? And I was like, oh no, that might be me. And so I go look at it, and it's like, yep, I'm pretty sure it's my order. It's cold brew. This is me. Yeah, pretty horrible. I took a picture, showed my wife, like, I'm just tired of the game, Starbucks. Get it together.
And speaking of Starbucks, what'd you actually order for those in the audience that are curious?
Yeah, I don't usually go. I'm new to coffee in general. So I don't even do hot coffee yet. So I'm really into a cold brew. What I got today was just a cold brew with, I think I got almond milk and some vanilla, just to give me, a little bit of. I can't do the coffee flavor full on yet, so I need a little extra to tame it. Just do that, swirl it, go at it. Get me wired for the next 4 to 5 hours. That's my thing.
Now, when it comes to either mispronunciation or misspellings, zooming out, what do you notice people do more overall speaking?
It's the pronunciation. Just because I haven't been super specific about it, about hey, I want it this way. It's one of those things that when you try to fight it, it's just no need to fight it. Let the people say what they say. Like, just as long as we get companies and whoever I'm working with brands to put that umlaut on there to keep the branding consistent. That's all that matters. That happens here and there, but it's not the biggest thing in the world that people don't say it the way I want it to be said. Like we have life to live. We got bills to pay. It's all right.
Now, do you accept any abbreviations of this stage name of yours?
From friends and family, I was getting used to X all my life. Just hearing X. Growing up, X Man was, of course, what my parents and adults would say when I was super young. By the time I moved to Georgia, in what was that? Well, when I moved back around high school, so about 2004, I'm dating myself there, but around there for high school, the South would call me Zay, and I was not used to that at all. Like I didn't, my parents didn't say it much, and I just didn't hear it much, so I didn't like it. And now I prefer Zay amongst all my friends. And then I moved to Texas, and everybody in Texas called me X, and I was just like, well, I guess it doesn't matter what I prefer. So I'm okay with either, of course, X or Zay, but that's pretty much as far as it goes for, nicknames or abbreviations or anything.
But just for clarification, you do prefer Zay between those.
For my people, for sure. Well, if I don't know you, like I don't like you calling me Zay. Like I get it. So like women will do it on the internet. It's nice. It's cool. But if you see me in public and just be like Zay and I don't recognize a face, I'm not answering. I'm just I'm just not gonna answer. I don't know you. So like I don't wanna make you think we might know each other. Nah. Like I'm Xavier.
Now, you mentioned a middle name here
Yeah,
that you end up using for this stage name of yours,
yeah.
but care to share the origin or the details of this name? It's in its entirety.
Yeah, you mean from the musical aspect?
Yes, why you chose a stage name.
Yeah, so of course, alluding to the fact that I used to be SPZRKT, which means Spazzy Rocket, which is the name that I came up with in my late teens. I was in a rap group. I was in a rap group in high school and just, spitballing stuff, trying to figure out what the heck we're doing in music. And NERD's song, they had a song called Spaz. That's what it was. And it would come on in the cafe at school. This is like my first year of college, which was all of 2 months. But the song would come on, the video would come on in the cafe, and I would get up and do the dance Pharrell did in the video, just dancing along. And so one of my homies just started calling me Spazzy, and I liked the name. So I ran with it because my group was doing this Star Wars, like kind of space stuff at the time. So then we did Spazzy Rocket. I just added the rocket for the space stuff. Once the group broke up and I got into my solo music, maybe some 2, 3 years later, I just dropped the vowels out the name just to see what people might respond to when they see those letters but hear this voice. And it was kind of a party trick at first, and it had a ceiling. A party trick that had an absolute ceiling because you couldn't spell it, you couldn't share it, you couldn't say it right. Like it only went so far. So I wasn't even thinking about it, but shout out Sango because I was in Europe with him on a tour with him, and I want to say it was 2016, and we're in an Uber, and he just looks at me because it's the types where you can like face each other, right? He just looks at me and goes, "So when are you going to change your name?" And I was like, I hadn't thought about it at all. But from that point on, I thought about it, and I sat down with my team at the time and said, "What makes sense?" And nothing felt really good. I wanted to use my name so that I wouldn't have to change it again, but no other like, you know, fake nickname or I don't know, some made up last name. Nothing really worked good. I don't like my actual name as an artist name either. My actual last name, I should say. But with the Omar, it's funny. The girl who I first heard it from is my vocal coach now. It's just the way she said it because the way I sang one day. And she just liked my middle name. And so I was like, I think I want to use that because it sounded really good to me. So I went with the Omar, added the umlau, and here we are today. And that ceiling was shattered immediately, and was it helped my career expand because people can say it for one, so they can share it and tell them who they're talking about. So yeah,
So, in essence, just for clarification, this is your government first name and middle name, but then obviously you add those two dots
yes, I
on top.
added that on the top, but that's just the one artistic touch. It's much like Anderson Paak, whose name is, I think his name is Brandon Anderson or something like that, and he put the middle first, added the small dot as a detail, Pack, and so the umlaut is my detail as well.
Now, was there any inspiration from Anderson's name for this, or that was just a mere example you were just providing?
An example, but before I was about to do it, like as I was gearing up to make the change, he wasn't superstar Anderson Paak yet, and I had like access to him. So I asked him like, "Hey man, how did you deal with when you did your name change? Because he used to be Breezy Lovejoy, and I just got advice from him about how to handle it. Some people are gonna go with it. Most people will go with it, and some are still going to try to hang on to the past. But just keep going, and it'll be who you want. It'll be where you want it to be, and you'll be who you want to be. So I just hung on to that advice from him, but like actual spelling of the name or nothing like that. Nothing specifically about that is what I was thinking when I chose my name. Yeah.
Any regret on adding those two dots onto this final stage name, looking back on how everything's played out?
No, it's still super unique. I think I've seen, obviously, Motorhead is the OG in American music, or the biggest one in American music to use it. We've seen Chloe Bailey use it. Low key, I'm not gonna say she stole from me, but I know that she knows who I am. I know that she knows because she did a thing on Freeform where she was putting people onto artists, and she listed me first. She said Xavier Omar's voice like butter, blah blah blah. I know she knows who I am. So it's possible that it's possible for Motorhead or just another way to stand out SEO, you know what I mean? Like when somebody searches Xavier Omar with that umlaut, you're only getting me, right? If you just search Xavier Omar, you might get Javier Omar, you might, you know what I mean? So SEO purposes and just something that stands out, my logo with the heart umlaut, heart, sun, and moon, like all of that has made it a really good choice.
And this rap group, care to share the name of this
No,
group at the
I,
time?
I do not care. I no.
Are you
If
able?
you were there, you were there. It was high school. Some stuff still exists on the internet. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be clowned about it. We were teenagers. Leave me alone. But me and my boy LA, as well as our homie Freeman, we were in the group together. So the three of us are still heavily in music. Um, LA's album, his newest album comes out July 25th. So I really hope everybody's listening to that. My album just came out back on May 2nd for Honeymoon Mountain. And Freeman, I'm not sure when his next one is, but he has music out too. So we're still all going for it. We found our way on our path. And it's all much better than what we did as kids. So focus on that. Don't worry about the high school stuff.
And care to share the name of the album title that drops on July 25th for those in the
Yeah,
audience hearing about
LA's
this for the first
album
time?
on July 25th is Lotus Ave. If you go to his socials at ELHAE, if you go to his YouTube, he's got these phenomenal videos for it. A couple of them shot by David Brain, who I worked with on Afraid Part 2 video. Yeah, it's phenomenal work. It's very cinematic. That's just, if you follow him in his career, that's his style. You hear it all the way back to Aura 1, Her, All Have Fallen, like all the projects. He's very cinematic in his style, and that returns in this project to the largest degree. Yeah.
And although you won't say the name of the group at the time, are you able to elaborate on the reason for the breakup back then of this group?
Yeah, man. I've never even talked about this because I guess since I haven't let too many people in on the group who don't know about it, it hasn't been like a big talking point really. But the reason the group broke up back then was we were noticing, I guess, with, I'm not going to say who, but between the members, like interests were just kind of changing. It seemed as if we noticed, who was doing the majority of the work, who was suggesting the records, the beats, the all these things, right? And we looked at it like, what's kind of happening? It's not the energy that it had been. And we were getting, I think we all were at least 20 or 21 by that point too. So it was just like, we started the group when we were 14. So interests were just kind of changing. And I think we recognized that in good time and said, we should look at doing this another way. LA decided to branch off into solo work. I never wanted to be a solo artist. So I was like, I guess I don't make music anymore. Like quite literally, that was my stance. Um, Freeman was the first to put out, actually, was it LA? LA was the first to put out a project, like I think later that year. He put out a mixtape. And then Freeman put one out not too long after that. And I think it took me maybe 2 to 3 more years before I did, because again, I didn't want to be solo. I had to figure that out. I thought I would just go play drums for a band, or maybe I could lead sing for a band, like an actual band. I mean, Foo Fighters, Coldplay, something like that. I was looking at, I always just wanted this camaraderie, this group. I didn't see myself as like poster boy or lead of the group in any manner in that way. And so I didn't think that I should do it solo. But I went out for American Idol. When I was in the rap group, I was rapping and I would sing sometimes. And people would comment on the songs that I sang on. There was one in particular that made people go, okay, yeah, like we really like this song more than anything on the project. So I said, I'll focus in on singing. And that's how I like got to this point today, was just changing the way I made music completely. But yeah, the breakup was definitely just an overtime thing, and I legitimately didn't think I'd be making music after that.
But from the sounds of it, not your call at all.
No, 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 no. Not my call. I understood it, and I even agreed with it. I tried to make it go a different way. Like I said, not trying to throw anybody under the bus in this equation whatsoever. I've tried to find different ways for it to work in different iterations, and it just didn't make sense. So I backed off the most musically, but it was too much fire in there, man. Yeah, I had to come back for it.